The aroma of roast turkey and expensive wine wafted through Aunt Patricia's mansion as I stood in her designer kitchen, watching the catering staff prepare Thanksgiving dinner. My cousin Vanessa breezed in, designer dress rustling, and wrinkled her nose at my simple black pants and white shirt. "Oh, good, you came through the back entrance like Mother asked," she said, checking her reflection in the polished refrigerator. "We wouldn't want to confuse you with the actual guests." I smiled, thinking of the documents waiting in my briefcase. Papers that would reveal exactly who owned Bradford Restaurant Holdings, my family's precious hospitality empire. Just trying to stay out of the way. Smart. Vanessa picked up a canopy, inspecting it critically. "Though I'm surprised you came at all. These events are rather exclusive." If she only knew that I could buy and sell their exclusive empire 10 times over. That my tech company, Horizon Innovations, had revolutionized restaurant automation and digital ordering systems. That while they mocked my little software startup, I'd built a corporation worth billions. Aunt Patricia insisted, I said mildly. Which was true. My aunt had specifically demanded I attend this Thanksgiving dinner, though not as a guest. She wanted to make sure everyone saw exactly where she thought I belonged in the family hierarchy. Yes, well. Vanessa smoothed her Chanel dress. Just remember to stay in the kitchen with the staff. The dining room is for family members who actually contribute to the Bradford legacy. I thought about the acquisition papers sitting in my office downtown, waiting to be filed with the SEC. By tomorrow morning, the Bradford legacy would belong to me. Of course, I replied. We all have our place. The doorbell chimed, announcing the arrival of more guests. Through the kitchen door, I could see them filing in. My Uncle Richard in his bespoke suit, Cousin Michael with his trophy wife, and various other members of the Bradford dynasty, all dripping in designer labels and generations of inherited success. Aunt Patricia swept into the kitchen, her silk dress rustling. Ah, Emma good. You remembered to use the service entrance. She managed to make my name sound like an unfortunate medical condition. The staff needs help plating the appetizers. I'm not actually here to work, Aunt Patricia, I pointed out. You invited me for Thanksgiving dinner. She laughed, the sound sharp as breaking glass. Oh, darling, you didn't think you'd be eating in the dining room? That's for family members who understand their responsibilities, who contribute to our success. She gestured to a stack of takeout containers on the counter. We ordered you something more appropriate, from that little fast food place you love so much. My eyes fell on the familiar logo of Quick Bites, a chain my family considered beneath them. What they didn't know was that Quick Bites was now secretly owned by one of my holding companies, along with most of their competitors. How thoughtful, I said quietly. Isn't it? She preened. I told everyone how you're still playing with that little computer business instead of joining Bradford Restaurants properly. We all agreed this was more your level. I thought about my real office, the top 3 floors of the city's most prestigious building, and the empire I'd built while they were busy looking down on me. You're right, Aunt Patricia. We all find our level eventually. The next hour was a masterclass in condescension as my family arrived for dinner. Uncle Richard barely glanced at me as he passed through the kitchen, though he did pause to criticize how the staff was arranging his favorite wine. Cousin Michael made a show of explaining how his latest restaurant acquisition cost more than I probably made in a year. If they only knew that their banks, their investors, their very business existence now depended on my company's technology. Emma, Aunt Patricia called from the dining room. Be a dear and bring more wine. The good wine, not the staff bottles. I carried the $2,000 bottle of Bordeaux to the magnificent dining table, taking in the scene. Aunt Patricia's prized antique china gleamed under crystal chandeliers. The family was arranged according to her precise social hierarchy. Most important closest to her, least important relegated to the far end. There wasn't a place set for me at all. Just leave it there, she waved dismissively. And do make sure you eat your dinner in the kitchen. We wouldn't want to make anyone uncomfortable. Uncle Richard raised his glass. To the Bradford legacy. May our empire continue to grow. If he only knew that their empire had already been acquired by someone they considered beneath them. I retreated to the kitchen, pulling out my phone to check the time. In exactly 12 hours, the morning news would break the story. Global restaurant conglomerate acquired by Shadow CEO. The Bradford family would learn that their precious empire, built over 3 generations, now belonged to the niece they'd banished to the kitchen. Vanessa burst in, waving her empty glass. More wine. And make sure it's properly chilled this time. I poured the wine, thinking of how tomorrow she'd learn that her executive position was being eliminated. Everything all right in there? Oh, we're just discussing the company's future, she smirked. Not that you'd understand. Daddy says Bradford Restaurants is about to announce something huge. But that's for family members who actually matter. I checked my watch again. In 11 hours and 50 minutes, she'd discover exactly what that announcement would be. Through the kitchen door, I could hear them plotting the company's future. My company's future, though they didn't know it yet. Uncle Richard was bragging about their planned expansion. Aunt Patricia was holding court about maintaining proper standards. Cousin Michael was detailing his latest yacht purchase. To success, they toasted, crystal glasses clinking. I smiled, thinking of the success they didn't see coming. While they'd been busy maintaining their social hierarchy, I'd built something they couldn't begin to comprehend. The next morning, I arrived early at my real office, a stunning glass and steel tower that made the Bradford restaurant headquarters look quaint. My assistant, Sarah, met me with coffee and a tablet displaying the morning's headlines. It's done, she reported. The SEC filing went through at midnight. The press release goes live in 10 minutes. I settled behind my desk, watching the city wake up through floor-to-ceiling windows. Has anyone from the Bradford family tried to contact us yet? No, but... She was interrupted by my phone buzzing. Aunt Patricia's name flashed on the screen. I put it on speaker just as the news alert hit. Breaking. Bradford Restaurant Holdings acquired by Horizon Innovations. Shadow CEO revealed as Emma Bradford. What is this? Aunt Patricia's voice shook. What have you done? In the background, I could hear the shattering of her prized china. Perfect timing. Good morning, Aunt Patricia, I said calmly. I trust you've seen the news? This is impossible. Your little software company couldn't possibly. My little software company, I cut her off, is worth $12 billion. We revolutionized restaurant technology while you were busy making sure I ate in the kitchen. More crashes in the background. Vanessa's voice rose hysterically. Mother, the board just confirmed it. She owns everything. Not everything, I corrected. Just the restaurant empire. And the properties. And the supply chain companies. Oh, and that little fast food place you ordered my Thanksgiving dinner from? I bought that too. Silence on the line, broken only by what sounded like more China meeting an untimely end. Would you like to hear what changes we'll be making? I continued pleasantly, starting with the executive team. I'm afraid Vanessa's position has been eliminated. Something about maintaining proper standards. You can't do this. Uncle Richard's voice joined the call. We're family. Family? I laughed softly. Was it family when you made me use the service entrance? When you served me fast food while you dined on gourmet meals? When you spent years ensuring I knew exactly where you thought I belonged? We can work something out, he offered desperately. The board works for me now, I reminded him. Just like you do. Though actually you don't anymore. Your termination letter should be arriving any minute. As if on cue, I heard their doorbell ring. That's probably the courier, I said helpfully. You might want to get that. It's important paperwork about the transfer of control. Oh, and Aunt Patricia? The kitchen staff has been instructed to serve your breakfast in the service area. Something about maintaining proper social hierarchy. The next hour brought a cascade of calls from shocked family members. Cousin Michael, learning his yacht had been repossessed. Vanessa, discovering her corporate credit cards had been canceled. Uncle Richard, finding out his access to the company accounts had been terminated. I handled each call the same way they'd handled me, with polite dismissal and suggestions about knowing one's place. The press had a field day with the story. Tech billionaire reveals identity in Thanksgiving revenge. Ran alongside Bradford family empire falls to niece they banished to kitchen. Social media exploded with the delicious irony of it all. By noon, I was sitting in my new office at Bradford Restaurant headquarters, soon to be renamed Horizon Hospitality Group. The view was actually quite nice, though we'd be renovating soon. The old-world luxury would be replaced with something more modern, more inclusive. Sarah appeared in the doorway. Your family is in the lobby. They're demanding to speak with you. I checked the security feed. There they were, Aunt Patricia, Uncle Richard, Vanessa, Michael, all looking significantly less polished than they had at Thanksgiving dinner. Are they using the main entrance? I asked. Security directed them to the service entrance, as per your instructions for unauthorized visitors. Perfect. I turned back to my work. Let them wait there. I have an empire to run. The changes came swiftly after that. Bradford Restaurants transformed from a stuffy, old money operation into a modern hospitality group. The executive dining room became a community space. The hierarchy flattened. Success was measured by merit, not family connections. Aunt Patricia's mansion? Now a culinary school for underprivileged students. Uncle Richard's corner office? A technology innovation center. Vanessa's executive suite? A staff relaxation area. The final touch was the new company logo I unveiled a month later. A simple design featuring both the Bradford heritage and Horizon's modern aesthetic. Below it, in elegant script. Success tastes better when you've been served humble pie. I kept the takeout containers from that Thanksgiving dinner, displaying them in my office next to the company's first digital ordering patent. Sometimes the best revenge isn't just succeeding. It's succeeding so spectacularly that your enemies have to read about it over the fast food breakfast they once mocked you for eating. The Bradford family tries to book tables at their old restaurants now, only to be told they need to use the service entrance. Aunt Patricia's social standing crumbled as Manhattan society rushed to align themselves with the real power. Uncle Richard's country club membership was revoked. Apparently, being fired for cause from your own company raises questions about character. And me? I still eat in the kitchen sometimes. But now it's my kitchen, in my company, serving my vision of success. Sometimes the greatest victory isn't in taking over someone's empire. It's in making them eat their own words, served cold with a side of revenge. And sometimes the best success story starts with a takeout container and ends with a corporate takeover. Thanks for watching. See you again in the next video. Stay stunned.